New project here. I am going to attempt to install an ESU LokSound decoder for Kato, drop-in Kato, into an Atlas SD60 here that I have. It has its existing MRC sound decoder, which ain't that great. They tend to run a little sluggishly. The speaker, you can see kind of tucked under there, that little disc, very quiet and not at all close compared to the stuff you get out of the ESU decoders. So it's going to require some machining. My plan is to mount the decoder about right here. I will have a solder LEDs. They come with a couple of LEDs here. So I will solder on one here for the headlight, and then I should have plenty of room in the back here for the speaker, and then run another LED for the tail back headlight there. I want to point out I tried out so I SBS4D DDC or DCC.com just started selling these their own line of speakers. I'm holding one right here with the baffle, and these things are amazing. I put one in my Dash 9, that Franken Loco, and this is the 9 by 16 millimeter that will fit nice and easily on an EMD in the shell here. I got plenty of room, as opposed to the ESU sugar cubes, which are a little bit wider. But anyway, I highly recommend these, and they're not that expensive. They're just they're under $9 a piece, and they have they got a huge variety of different shapes, sizes for different scales. So you know, they're not paying me to promote this, but I was really impressed at the sound, how loud these things are, and they're very compact. So SBS4DCC.com. You might want to go check their website if you're interested in speakers for your sound decoders. So what I'm going to do now is, so this is the EMD demonstrator. I've had this engine. I got handrails there. It came undone. I've had this engine here for a few years now, and run it a little bit on my layout here and there. But I've noticed typically that Atlas engines, even with Digitrax decoders, because I'm running Digitrax system on my layout, tend to run a lot slower than the Kato and Athearn and scale trains. So I'm hoping that this thing will run a little bit faster. If you see the engine in the back here, this is actually an Intermountain SD45-2 that I also put a Kato sound decoder in it, and speaker. And I had to do a little machining on the frame to lower the frame a little bit, so I could basically lay down the decoder on top of it and just tape it down with some Captain tape to hold it in place. But anyway, yeah, that engine there in the back, the 6481, is equipped and runs really good and sounds really good. So I'm going to pretty much repeat the process here with this Atlas here, and I may even show you some machining here with my Dremmel, how I do it. Now again, I'm not a professional. I'm just showing you how I've done this. The machining, you kind of risk making some drastic changes to your frame. But, if you're careful, I've done this on a few. You're not going to see it because the shell covers it. And the main thing is to get it running nice with the nice sounds that these decoders put out. So anyway, I'm gonna disassemble the frame here, pull the trucks, the motor, gears, all that out, so I just have the two halves, and get it ready for a little bit of machine work here. Okay, so we have the motor, trucks, tire drivetrain removed. Got the two halves here back together. So what I'm going to do is basically mark off what we're going to just shave off these edges here with a Sharpie here, just marking, and basically make it flush. It'll be just above the little marks here for the engine mount to pop in, so we're going to be just short of that. Even if we were to go up to it, they'll still hold in. It's basically very similar to the chassis on the Intermountain. So I'll go ahead and mark this off here, and we'll take it to the Dremel tool and shave off some metal here. Okay, this is my welcome to my machine shop here. This is my Dremel tool in the drill press device that they have to put your Dremel on, and I have my table's not quite level, so I'm using this little mini level here to basically get the chassis about the same angle, and hopefully we get somewhat of a flush shave off the top here. And then let me come down just a little bit more. Put my little stop here so we don't go too far, and put on the hearing protection, and we'll start shaving off some metal here. Okay, took a little bit off there. I go a little bit deeper. We want to get it just about flush. Try that right there. All right, and yeah, I always wear eye protection. I got my glasses on, so you got metal shavings flying all over the place here. Just a hair more so we get it nice and smooth. Try that. See right there. A little bit more. It might be too much, but I can kind of self-adjust the thing here. Let's see how we're doing. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here's our finished results there. So I'm going to take a small file and file down the sharp edges here and then wash it real good with some soap and water. Get all the metal shavings out of it and then let it dry thoroughly, and then we'll start setting the decoder in place and doing a little bit of soldering. Alright, so we have the decoder taped down on the chassis here. I've got the LEDs wired, speaker installed. I'm running wires down to the copper pickups here to the top of the decoder here. So next step is to put the trucks on and put it on the program track and program this sucker and go from there. If get it programmed, I'll do a startup and then put the shell on. I did put this before I did all the soldering here. I did put the shell on to make sure that it would clear the speaker. That was not with the LED here, so LED is adding a little bit to it here, but it should close nice and tight, not have any issues with it, with the shell not fitting. So next step here, we'll see if we can program this sucker. So the sound file I'm using here off the LokSound website is the EMD16 cylinder 710 G3B Late Exhaust Edition 2, which this is recorded from an EMD SD60E. So that is the file that I have loaded into the decoder. So let's give it a listen here. Got the shell back on and power's on there, and let's take a listen. Nice and loud. Try the whistle and the bell. I give it a little bit of throttle here. I got the sound off, but let's see if we can get her to move. I might have some dirty track here. There we go. And go forward. Yeah, some dirty track here. Alright, next step, try it out on the layout. Alright, so we have the EMD 8302 on the point. I'm going to give it a little quick run here with a couple other engines here and show you, my layout here for a few seconds. Pulling my salt train, so let's give it a listen. And there you have it, Atlas SD60 with a ESU LokSound decoder for Kato. Runs good. I got a little more speed than I did with the Digitrax decoders on these Atlas chassis here, and these speakers are loud. I might have a little too loud, but those speakers I mentioned earlier, you definitely might want to check those out. Plenty of volume on them. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.